Today on FlyWire, I got a short one for you. I filled up one tank with G100UL, and I want to show you that combined with a little bit of refueling hygiene protocol. Okay, and then I'll give you a pie rip of using that fuel at the end. So stick with me on FlyWire. Hi, I'm Scott Perdue, and today I jumped off the cliff and I put G100UL into my airplane. From the chatter on the web, my world should end forthwith. Maybe that's a bit of a hyperbole, maybe not. Who knows? There's a lot of heat and hue and cry about it all. I went up to Ada, Oklahoma to see GAMI's engine test stand in operation, and I filled up with one tank of G100 AVGAS in my Bonanza. I wanted to see what all the hype's about and see if it works. So I'm going to show you that and give my in-depth report of one tank of gas before I jump into cutting together the test stand video. I think that's going to be a little bit long, so I don't want to make it too long. I already had the STC on the airplane, but I didn't put in any stickers on it. So Lorelei from GAMI installed them on both wing tanks for me to be legal, and then we put the G100UL in. So this is what happened.
It'll be 30 gallons of G100 and 11 gallons of 100 low lead. So this good lady. We're doing this out of a little refueling cart that we have here in Ada. We can't get cell fuel that we can donate it away legally. So that's what we're doing right now. We should be rigged up and be able to sell fuel to anybody that comes in here in the next 30 days. So the idea behind this is that if you accidentally spill it, it immediately catches here. If it happens to go under, it gets absorbed on the bottom side, so it doesn't run down across anything. So a little bit ago, we fueled up Scott's airplane, this beautiful F-33, aerobatic F-33, with G100UL. It's on top of a little bit of 100 low lead that's down in the tank. You can see the placards are right there. This mat is used to improve the, if you will, the refueling hygiene. And then Scott very nicely has put the Viton O-rings on this. So what we're going to do is I'm going to play like we are screwing up. I'm going to set this over here, and I'm going to show you what you do. I mean, spills are going to happen occasionally, but when they do, the owner, if you're self-fueling, or the FBO, if they spill a little fuel. So we're going to deliberately take this beautiful paint job that Scott has on this airplane, and we're going to put a little of this fuel out here, just like you see right here. So now that we've done that, what we're going to do is
put the lid on.
And take our time, no giant hurry. Just, you can see it starting to evaporate already because it's a really hot day. Go ahead and spray it. A little Windex, grocery store Windex. Wipe it off. And it doesn't leave any evidence of any stain of any kind. So, that's an example of exercising some modest fuel hygiene for accidental spills. And it doesn't have to be done immediately, but you can see it starting to evaporate, and you want to get it before it starts to fully evaporate. Even after it's fully evaporated, if you use the Windex, that generally will solve the issue if you let it sit there until it finally fully evaporates. You've got a tank that's 75% G100 and 25% 100 low lead. And one of the critical 5 or 6 design requirements that we wrote down and shared with the FAA back in 2011 was, the first one was that the detonation had to be the same or better than 100 low lead, and you're going to see some of that in the test cell later today. But one of the other key requirements was it had to be completely fungible with 100 low lead. Otherwise, the transition in the fleet as we do the rollover into a new fuel would be almost completely impossible. So by doing it this way, this fuel that's in your tank meets a specification that's approved by the FAA. And that specification is G100. And it meets it because that specification 15, 14 years ago anticipated exactly what we just did. And the specification says that G100UL that has lead in it from being mixed with conforming 100 low lead, that means standard 100 low lead that meets the 100 low lead spec, which I assume whatever came out of your FBO or your tanks did, that fuel that has conforming 100 low lead mixed with G100UL is a fuel that meets the G100UL spec. And because it meets the G100UL spec, it's legal in commerce. And it makes this transition dramatically easier than fuels that cannot be commingled transparently. And part of that is because it doesn't degrade the octane of the 100 low lead. It actually enhances the octane of characteristics, or the detonation characteristics, and makes them more benign. And that was a very key aspect of that. So you're good to go, and enjoy the flight home.
The fueling part was no big deal, and some good tips to avoid stains from a casual spill. FYI, I had put new Viton O-rings on several years ago because the old ones were pretty cracked, and I just wanted to put new stuff on. So before even I was thinking about G100UL as an option, and so on, as it's going to happen. I made it home without any issue. The flight was very nice. High Cirrus screened the sun, so it was very pleasant at 7,500 feet with a slight tailwind. Nice trip and for summertime. My trip report really doesn't have much substance here. There really was no noticeable difference between 100 low lead and G100UL. The engine ran the same. I was told there might be a 1 to 2 knots of extra speed in this with the same fuel flows as before. That I wasn't in totally smooth air. I took off 100 on 100 low lead, and then I switched to G100UL at cruise altitude. I did see 1 knot increase in speed, but to be honest, unless it is absolutely still air, I see plus or minus 3 knot variations in cruise pretty much every trip. You know, there's always a little turbulence. And I can't say that 1 knot increase that I saw was really from the new fuel. It was statistically not significant, so no big changes. The speed was about the same. Sorry if that disappoints you. Drop-in replacement is a misleading concept to replace 100 low lead. The truth is the detonation issue is that lead might be the best solution overall for that issue, but it's not viable. The trouble is that one producer of tetraethyl lead, and I'm not willing to bet my engine and on a lower octane fuel. With one engine and one fuel, I'd rather bet my life on something a bit more of a sure thing. So, next up is Gammy's test stand video where we run a turbocharged IO550 from an SR22 Cirrus on 100 low lead. 15% ETBE fuel and 25% ETBE fuel, and then G100UL, so we did 4 fuels in all. So I hope you hang on to watch that one, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was short, and we'll see you next time on FlyWire.